No,
Hi
man.
there, Eric.
Man.
Yes, sir.
How we doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Can we get 5 minutes?
Yeah, go ahead. I had been. I figured it was you guys trying to call, but I didn't. My phone was losing signal
Okay.
yesterday and today. Right? You guys were calling both days.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
All right. Let me just make sure this. Okay. So yeah, guys, we got Eric Molina on the line. We got Eric Molina, world
Yeah.
title contender against Deontay
I
Wilder. So we got EJ Boxing Live. We got Chris Gaban and Bin Umar. So what you been up to, Eric, man? Since your heroic, title attempt, man. I have to say.
Well, thank you first of all for that. I've been the first month that I got back home. I've been trying to recover from a hairline fracture on my ankle,
Okay.
and it was slow with the recovery, and I'm still trying to recover. So it took. I was out a complete month, and I've been back in the gym for a month, and we're nursing that ankle and trying to get it better. And I'm looking at a fight in October here at home, in a stay busy type of fight, and just to get back on track. That's what I got going on right now.
Okay. So did you take a positive experience from the Wilder fight? Has that been very, very positive for you?
What was that? The experience of the Wilder fight?
Yeah, was it a positive experience? Because you put up a
Oh,
very
for sure.
yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of experts didn't give me much chance in that fight, but it's they didn't really know the underground work that I had put in. When I fought Arreola, I had no rounds as heavyweight. I had no sparring. I had no preparation. I had no nothing. So I was an inexperienced small heavyweight,
Yes.
and since that fight, I had been in the ring and done some sparring with a lot of big name heavyweights, and I was able to build confidence through doing that work. So, so I went into that Wilder fight, and I knew that it wasn't going to be an easy fight for him.
Yeah.
I knew that no matter what I had read, I knew it was not going to be an easy fight for him, and I knew that it was a fight that I knew that I could go in there and win.
Yeah. I was watching the Chris Arreola fight, and you nearly had him out of there, to be honest, before he caught you.
Well, yeah, and I just I look at that fight, and it was definitely a fight that I was not prepared for.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't prepared mentally, my confidence, my experience. I had no business in the ring at that time. But even through defeat in that fight, I was able to come up the fact that, hey, you know what, I do have the power to hurt some of these big guys.
Yeah.
So I did come off that. I did come off that with at least that. So, but hey, it's all a learning experience for me. I didn't have an amateur background.
Oh, you never had no amateur fights at all?
Yeah, I didn't have no amateur fight, so I learned through the professional ones. And and I'm still learning now. But one thing that's for sure with me is that, if people want to look at my resume, the one thing they can say is that yeah, he lost, but every time he loses, he bounces back and he's able to be a different fighter.
Yeah.
So I think I've been able to show that.
How did you come by Oliver McCall? 'Cause I've known Oliver for a long time. Oliver McCall. How comes you've got him in your camp?
Oliver was I had gotten to work with him for some sparring, and from maybe about 3-4 years ago, and then from there we brought him back down here to the Valley. He's a really good friend of mine. He was one of those guys that as soon as we met him, he just became a really good friend to me. So
Okay.
he shared a lot of his training experiences with me and his tips and stuff. So he was definitely a knowledgeable guy to add to my team.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let the guys ask you. I just want one more. All the people critique Deontay Wilder pretty heavily. Is he as bad as everyone is saying? You've actually been in the ring and you must have sparred with some good fighters. How does he compare to the modern day heavyweights? Would you say?
Well, you know what? I will say this is that a lot of people, like I said, going back to my experiences and where I come from, they don't know exactly the things that I could do in the ring, because if people really look at the person I am. I'm not a big talker. I don't like to talk about what happens in the gym, but I've been in the ring with some top heavyweights in this country after I fought with Arreola, and I was able to do some really good things against some really big names. So as I developed the confidence that way, I was able to learn and move forward, and I was able to observe some really big things from Wilder in the fight with him. One of the biggest things that he was able to do, and nobody gives him credit for that. They think that he looked bad because he fought me and he struggled with me. But I'm not that same guy. If I will fight Arreola again, I'll demolish Arreola. I'll destroy him. I'll retire him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Arreola and me right now are on two different levels.
Okay.
And this is not something that is my opinion, because according to Arreola, he thinks I'm the same fighter. He fought me, I was 220 pounds. I'm 240-pound heavyweight experience now.
Yeah.
And one thing with Wilder is that I landed a good uppercut in the first round, and he was able to take that punch away from me, because if I land that uppercut on him, I'll hurt him bad. I could really, really, really knock him out with it.
Yeah.
You know, I have really hurt a lot of heavyweights around the country, you know, with that uppercut in sparring. So if I know that I could land that big shot on all these guys, I ain't even worried about what I could do with him, because he ain't the greatest defensive guy.
Right.
So you know, there's a lot of things about that Wilder fight with me that a lot of these so-called professionals won't understand, and they'll think that it's talk, but I'll let them figure it out on their own. Wilder, to me, was very intelligent because he took that punch away.
Okay.
I mean, and he took it away from the first round. When I landed it on him and he walked back to his corner, he sat there and he said, I can't get hit with that again, because if I nicked him with it, but had I hit him with it flush, I would have knocked him out with it.
Yeah.
So he adapted, and he was patient, and he was able to, I mean, look at all his other fights.
Yeah.
He goes, even with Stavern, he attacked Stavern until Stavern went down.
Yeah.
He attacked Stavern several times until he dropped Stavern. Why didn't he do that to me? It wasn't because he was off. It wasn't because he was off or out of it or a bad day, because he knew that if he did that to me, I will catch him hard with an uppercut and knock him clean out.
Yeah.
And these are things that the critics don't, and the people around the world don't understand, but I do, because I know I've been in the ring with a lot of big time heavyweights. So he didn't. How many times did he jump on me? Like he jumped on every single other opponent to finish him.
He was cautious. He was more cautious than we've probably seen.
Because but why doesn't the critics say he fought cautious? Because Molina could have knocked him out with any given moment that he made a mistake. And I said Wilder makes a lot of mistakes, and I'm a guy that capitalizes on them mistakes. Yeah. My bread and butter is counter punching and making these guys pay for their mistakes. So what did he do? He took away the fact of that mistake of suppression and going wild on the opponent. So if anything, give him credit for doing that.
Yeah.
Because he took that away from me. So, but I mean, they could say what they want. Wilder's a very difficult person to fight. I'll tell you one thing with me. I had never been in there with a taller heavyweight. We brought in a 6'8", 6'7" sparring partner, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, they were whooping on me because it was hard for me to make adjustments.
Yeah.
I had a 4-week training camp, and it was, hey, make adjustments, get used to it, and then go fight was everything I got. You know, so there's no excuses. You know, I fought with everything I have, but the resources that I have now are far more than what I had against Chris Arreola. I mean, they called me in 3 weeks. Hey, you want to fight Chris Arreola for this? And Don King tossed me into taking that stupid fight. I had no sparring. I had no nothing. Of course he's going to run over me. Yeah. But I guarantee you now he won't run over me. And I'll tell you right now, there ain't no heavyweight in the world that'll just run over me.
Right.
So I think that Wilder is a good champion. He's strong. But I give him credit because I've been in the ring with heavyweights that cannot make the adjustment. with me, and I could still hit them with certain punches to hurt them.
Yeah.
He was at least able to make those adjustments. But he is not the greatest boxer as far as his length. He's getting better with it. And he's one that, but I'll tell you one thing, he's got the power to make you adjust, to make fighters adjust.
Yeah.
So, that's why I say that about him.
Wow. Yeah. So, what kind of response have you got from like since the fight? Like with the what headway are you making with the Hughie Fury fight?
Well, you know what are you asking me? What response and where I'm going from here?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The first thing I got to do is get back on track. Get back. I want to get back in the ring. Let's get back on track. Let's get a win under my belt. Let's finish this year on a positive note. I mean, but the response that I've gotten from fans all over the country, from all over Mexico, the Mexican fans, even from the UK and the fans from the UK, the response, fans in Australia, it's definitely made new fans, and for me, that's what it's all about, and that's what I was hoping to showcase, to the world. And I'm looking for big fights in 2016. And I've never been one to call out anybody. And when I mentioned the Fury fight to you, that was because Peter Fury had already contacted me, and they were looking for me. So I'm just letting you know these are the type of fights that I'm looking for. I feel like it's one thing that I tell these people: you look at my resume, look at my box rec, look at all my fights, look at my first loss. And think of where I would go from there, and I surpassed that. Yeah. Look at my second loss, and think of where a fighter like that would go, and I surpassed that after that. Now look at the Wilder, and I lost again, and think of where I'm going to go, and I'll surpass that again. I'm going to be that fighter that puts those losses in my pocket, but comes back stronger and better. So whoever these heavyweights are across the world that thinks they're going to call me and get an easy win, it ain't never going to be that. it ain't going to be that. So, whatever it is, I respect the game. I respect all these heavyweights because I know how it is to be a heavyweight. But wherever I go, I bring my professionalism and I bring everything I got. And they better be ready because there ain't going to be no easy wins with me.
Okay. So, EJ, you got a question for Eric?
Yeah, how you doing, champ?
I'm good, EJ.
All right, man. Cool, man. Yeah, my question for you is that how would you feel about the crop of English fighters? Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting Dillian White, Gary Cornish, and some of the guys. How do you think about coming over in the UK and challenging some of the young crop, Tyson Fury, maybe?
I would definitely love to head down there. I mean, is one thing that I tell people is I'm a Mexican heavyweight. And Mexicans are I mean, we love boxing. And it's one thing that I tell people because I go travel to Vegas and I travel around and I tell people, you know what? These UK fans, they love boxing on the same level, if not more, than us Mexicans. And I walk around Vegas and I have a lot of fans from the UK that stop me, oh, Molina, yeah. And they recognize me more than a lot of my Mexican fans. So, I mean, to me, it's a good feeling to know that people around the world are seeing my work. And it will be a real big dream to go over there and to fight the best that you guys have out there. You guys have always, the fans have always shown me a lot of respect. And England seems like such a nice place. And you guys are very passionate about boxing. And I know that I'll bring a good, exciting fight to no matter who I fight. But when I look at your heavyweights, I'm not going to lie. I see this kid, Anthony Joshua. I really feel like he's the future of the heavyweight division. I think that this kid has Deontay Wilder-like size. I think he's a little bit bigger than Wilder, but I feel like he's more balanced. I feel that he's more technical, more balanced, his ring generalship, and that's because he's very young also. So I feel that this kid is the future of the heavyweight division. But there's always that X factor is that let's see how he reacts when they're putting pressure on him. Because anybody can look good against some of these guys, but you put him in a war, you put him in a little tougher fight, you get hit back. That changes the game a little bit. So, but I see that Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, this kid is the future, and he's got great size, he's got great strength, and when I match him up against guys like Joseph Parker, Dylan White, and any of the guys here in America that we have coming up, I feel that he's way above he's way higher than the caliber of the crop that's coming up.
Okay,
cool.
That's
cool, man.
High praise as well. So Ben Umar, you got anything that you want to ask Eric?
Yeah, I got a question. How you doing, Mr. Molina?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. I had a question because I know I see that you fought Devare Williamson. I wonder, and he's fought some guys like Klitschko and Oliver McCall, and a couple other guys, Chris Bird. Yeah, that's a pretty good opponent to have. And you were the last guy he's fought, and you pretty much ended his career, at least as because he hasn't fought since. I wanted to ask you, what did you learn? Because that's a good caliber opponent. What did you learn in that fight, and what has it given you to progress your career?
Yeah, definitely. The Williamson fight was definitely that fight where, man, you know what? Williamson, I'll tell you right now, I want to say, without being put down, Williamson hit me harder than I've ever been hit before. Because Williamson didn't hit me on a spot to where I could go down, but he hit me on a spot of a bone on my cheek that, man, it was so swollen for days. Williamson has very hard knuckles. His knuckles feel like rocks. So that was, man, I had never experienced. Wilder didn't have these type of knuckles. I mean, he could swing his fists around, but Williamson swings around rocks inside there. They feel like rocks. So Williamson definitely, he brought a lot of experience. He was a little taller heavyweight, but, it is what it is. I've like I said, I've shared the ring with Berman Stavern. I've shared the ring with Guillermo Jones. I've shared the ring with a lot of heavyweights that I was able to be successful with. So, and these are how my confidence levels is why I increased. When I was Berman Stavern's preparation for the Wilder fight.
Okay.
And I felt that he was struggling with the height. He was struggling with the height, and I was trying to box and move. And it was something that I had talked to him about, but Berman is a very, very strong fighter. But if you box him, you're going to be more successful than if you try and brawl him.
Yeah.
So you look at Arreola. Arreola has one game plan. Let's go in there. You're not going to outmuscle Stavern.
Yeah.
You're not going to outmuscle him, but you can outbox him. And these are the experiences that I've done that I've experienced in the ring, where I learn and I figure what I can do, what I can't do, where I match up against some of these guys. So, I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but I am saying that where I used to be is, I'm not there no more.
I've just got this feeling the fight you really want is the Arreola fight. You want that rematch.
I want the rematch because even after the fight, he was saying that Wilder carried me 9 rounds because he said he knocked me out in one. And I got back and said, well, if you think that you could serve well with Wilder on the formula that you're saying, I said, where do you come out with that? Because Wilder beat Stavern and Stavern whooped you. So where do you get in the mix that you could do anything? I told him, I said, the same way you want to say that Wilder did this and this and this and this, just look at what he did to Stavern. Look what Stavern did to you.
Yeah.
You got no reason to talk, man. And I told him, I on the social media, I said, and you shouldn't even be talking because you can't even come up with wins against these journeymen that Heyman's trying to prepare you to win with.
Yeah, he was lucky against
So
Frank Cassie.
I'm just like, man, you need to worry about. He wants to go fight Wilder. He wants to go do this, and he wants to talk shit about me, but he can't even. They give these guys a week notice, and he can't even win. In my opinion, he lost his last fight and the fight before that. He lost 2 to Stavern. I mean, but you want to fight for a world title? Why? So
I think
he's talking.
I
felt, and I felt like his last fight. It was here in Texas, and I'm from Texas. And I'll tell you flat out, he lost that fight.
Yeah.
He lost that fight, you know? And he comes away with a majority draw. Hey, they gave him a gift. He's a Mexican fighting on the Mexican border. That's the way it works. But at the same time, people watching all over the world know that he lost the fight. But, hey, it is what it is. I just got beat with him. He runs his mouth, and it will be a good fight. It will be a good fight because, you know, it will be better than what it was before.
Yeah, Chris Arreola, he's got the kind of mouth that gets under people's skin as well, man. Yeah. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, but Chris, you know, he goes for it when he talks. He really goes for it.
Yeah, but at the same time, Heyman's got him, baby, too. I mean, Heyman's got him under his wing and, you know, setting up how many world titles has he fought? You know, in my opinion, who has he beat? He hasn't beat nobody on a world-class level. So I was actually hoping that Heyman would put Arreola in with Wilder. I was actually hoping because all the crap that he was talking, I knew Wilder would dispose of him.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't happen, man. I'm just excited now because the heavyweight division is getting back to a level to where you got one Klitschko brother out and you have another one coming up that's getting ready to retire. There's a lot of names around the world. You have a lot of young cats coming up. You got a lot of young heavyweights coming up. You got a lot of veterans in the game. You have a lot of good fighters, and the division is ready to take off again. So I'm glad that I'm just on the brink right now, and I'm still in it a little bit. And to be a part of it, you know, it's exciting for me. It's exciting for my fans, my family, and just to be a part of it is a blessing.
Okay, man, really appreciate you giving us time. So, how's your training schedule for this week? You back? You in the gym? Well, you're waiting for this the fracture, the hairline fracture.
Well, I was out with the fracture for a month, and I started limping around training, and now I can do a lot of things, but I can't really pivot and really take too much with it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking to return in October, and I'll be training here. You know, nothing, not a big fight. You know, hopefully get back on track and then head into 2016. And, you know, who knows? Maybe I might show up in England to fight somebody.
You never know.
Yeah. If you do, man, I'll be there to welcome, give you a warm welcome. And, you know what I'm saying? UK, you know, you put on a great fight with Deontay Wilder, man. And definitely, man, you deserve that. Like, so I'm sure some of the guys in the UK would love for even maybe a Lucas Brown fight, you know, from Australia.
Oh man, I think that Lucas Brown would be an amazing fight too.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of respect for Lucas Brown. He fights with everything he's got every time, and I think that I'd be a really good fight for Lucas, especially for where he's at in his career. But I know that the England fans will appreciate the type of fight that I bring, and that's why I would love to fight there.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We look forward to having you over here, man. So, is there anything else you want to say to your fan base and to the boxing world before we sign out?
Well, no, I just want to, you know, send all my fans from across the world, let you guys know that, you know, I lost, but I'm going to keep pushing forward and give everything I got every time I come in the ring, and hopefully one day my dream to fight in England hopefully comes true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, man. All right, man.
All right.
Thank
Eric,
you, guys.
man, we really appreciate your time, man. And good luck for the future. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for taking care, champ.
Okay.
Take care, bro.